Hey everyone, it's Pooh. Please forgive my, what's her face? Oh hell, that lady from Fleetwood Mac. Oh crap, I can't think of her name. That's sad. Oh, Stevie Nicks, okay, it finally came to me. So, yeah, forgive my Stevie Nicks voice, only in a lower octave. Currently, working out, having the flu. Probably not the best time to make a video, but as any other day, sicker in health, I was checking out Facebook and came by this reaction video by Hasan Piker of the Young Turks. Maybe it's a saying, I can't remember. And he actually has a reaction video to something Tomei Lahren had said for International Women's Day. And yeah, it was quite easy to start tearing things apart within the first few minutes. Well, really within the first few seconds. So, yeah, I should be in bed, taking meds, getting this shit taken care of. But damn it, I needed to make a reaction video. Let's get into this, folks.
Happy International Women's Day. I'm here at work today because I'm a woman, not a victim.
Oh boy, Tomei is real heated about this subject. Man, oh man, is she angry.
You're right, Hasan. Anytime anybody speaks of something with passion, and I don't know about facts just yet, but anytime somebody speaks about passion, maybe facts, that definitely means that they're speaking angrily. Jesus, I mean, it's almost like you don't know the difference between the two. Go figure.
She came in straight with the, I'm a woman, not a victim card.
What is it that you're trying to convince us of? That women don't ever play the victim card? And some women don't play the victim card? They actually, refuse to play it? I mean, what is it you're trying to convince us of by saying this? I'm not quite sure, but
no, Tomei, you're actually here today thanks to the demands, hard work, and dogged determination of countless women before you who paved the way so that women like yourself can assume prominent roles in news media. But what do I know?
Well, apparently you don't seem to know enough. Women in journalism, well, as journalism became a profession, women were restricted by custom from access to journalism occupations and faced significant discrimination within the profession. Nevertheless, women operated as editors, reporters, sports analysts, and journalists even before the 1890s. And this is why that last part is particularly significant. Women's suffrage in the United States, the legal right of women to vote in that country, was established over the course of several decades, first in various states and localities, sometimes on a limited basis, and then nationally in 1920. And the women's suffrage movement had been going on since, about the 1840s. The significance here between 1890 and 1920 is that it wasn't nationally recognized until after women had already been serving in high journalism positions. So to be misleading at the very least in, insisting that it took women's suffrage to pave the way for women in news or journalism media is not right. That is false. But maybe you'd like to go ahead and clarify what you mean.
I didn't wake up this morning worrying about what protest color I'd wear.
Clearly.
Because I didn't wake up feeling like the victimhood narrative was part of my story.
Oh man, Tomei, you're so brave. God, so brave.
This guy's clearly a graduate of the Cenk Uygur School for Rhetoric and Debate. Oh, this coffee's good. Yeah. I mean, let's not just try to, be a person about this. Let's just try to mock everything. Right. Okay, well, I don't know that I'm going to do that in this video, but I might. After all, turnabout is fair play. Actually, now I think about it, I like what Atheism is Unstoppable calls this guy. He calls him Brown Fabio. And if you go check out his modeling pictures, it's kind of easy to see why.
I didn't wake up and tell myself I deserve special treatment because I have ovaries and a menstrual cycle.
Literally no one does that. No one is thinking that, but that won't stop you, will it?
Really? No one is literally thinking that? Can we ask the question again about what you know? Because Again, you don't know that people are actually asking for special treatment, especially in the workplace, because they have periods. All right, now that I'm done giggling here. Okay, so menstrual leave. That is something that's actually going on here. Is a type of leave where a woman may have the option to take paid or unpaid leave from her employment if she is menstruating and is unable to go to work because of this. Menstrual leave is controversial because it can be seen as criticism of women's work efficiency or as sexism. Now, part of me would like to kind of go into my personal beliefs on this thing, but I'm trying to keep this video somewhat short. But let me continue here. Laws. Menstrual leave policies exist in some Asian countries, although individual companies in countries that do not have national laws may choose to implement such policies. In Indonesia, under the Labor Act of 1948, women have a right to 2 days of menstrual leave per month. In Japan, Article 68 of the Labor Standards law states when a woman for whom work during menstrual periods would be especially difficult has requested leave, the employer shall not employ such woman on days, thanks Wiki, of the menstrual period, meaning I guess that means that they can't hire somebody else who's not menstruating. While Japanese law requires that a woman going through especially difficult menstruation be allowed to take leave, it does not require companies to provide paid leave or extra pay for women who choose to work during menstruation. In South Korea, not only are female employees entitled to menstrual leave according to Article 71 of the Labor Standards Law, but they are also ensured additional pay if they do not take the menstrual leave that they are entitled to. Basically, it's like collecting cash for not taking your time off. In Taiwan, the Act of Gender Equality in Employment gives women 3 days of menstrual leave per year, which will not be calculated toward the 30 days of common sick leave, giving women up to 33 days of health-related leaves per year. The extra 3 days do not come with half pays once a woman employee exceeds the regulated 30. No, so you're right, Brown Fabio. Literally, no one is giving women special treatment because of their vagina. Yeah, that's not happening at all. And the other thing is that in at least one of these instances, I'll let you figure out which I think it is, women actually with this menstrual leave have more rights than men do. Yeah, that's not sexist at all.
See, real women don't have to remind the world every single day that history once slighted us.
Tommy, you realize that International Women's Day happens once a year, right?
Yeah, and it's handled so much more differently than International Men's Day, which happens November 17th of every year. Now, it probably doesn't get noticed much in this country because that is leading right up to the Thanksgiving holiday. But you know what? You don't necessarily see this hashtag of International Men's Day just floating around Twitter as prominently as International Women's Day. It's almost like nobody wants to pay attention to International Men's Day. For fuck's sakes.
It's not every single day. But there is a positive note here, an acknowledgement of the suffrage movement, or at least that women were, in fact, at some point in time disenfranchised.
And only being able to speak for American history, U.S. history, that is. Yeah, it's acknowledged every damn day. International Women's Day isn't needed. It's acknowledged every day in our history books. And damn it, what does that have to do with today? Do women not have the right to vote in the United States? Do they not have the right to equal pay for equal work in the United States? I mean, yeah, we can talk about the wage gap myth, some more. But it's kind of pointless at this juncture. Women have just as many rights as men, if not more than men, in certain instances. And let me clarify that last part, because I think the way I said it kind of ran together. What I meant to say is that in certain instances, women do have more rights than men do. And I'm sure the inverse is also true.
I've been saying this, there is hope for you yet. Hope that through honest and open discourse, possibly in my Instagram DMs, we can eventually change your mind on certain things. But you blocked me.
Really? Okay, now, I have absolutely no proof to this, but according to Devin Tracy, AIU, He's had a third strike because apparently he was quote unquote bullying you through YouTube. And you're complaining about Tommy. I'm sorry. Oh gosh. You know, and it's been a while since I've seen these videos, but I believe Tildeer and maybe even Thunderfoot had done some great videos on the quote-unquote disenfranchised women of old. That, you know, poor women owned property and in some locations had the right to vote. So, I mean, this whole suffragette thing was to get women the right to vote everywhere in this country. So, I mean, it's not as cut and dry as you're trying to make it seem, Brown Fabio. And by the way, because I'm going to test this, since you're complaining about being blocked, I am going to tag you in this video and see if you block me. And don't come at me with, YouTube trying to get a strike on me, especially since I have such a small channel. But buddy, outside of working out, you and I look quite alike. Never mind the brown poo here. But yeah, quite alike. Never mind that, at least with me, ethnically, I grew up enjoying Mexican food and being able to say some Spanish words because that's the environment I was raised in.
But please, do go on. Educate us on what real women are like.
Well, she's trying to give you an education based on her opinion. It's just her view of what real women are. Obviously, you don't agree with it. But instead, you're just being a mocking asshole here. I mean, shit. It's, please. We understand that you're not actually interested in what her thoughts are. You're here for the same reason I'm here, and that's just to basically poke fun at you. Besides, if you were generally interested in learning, you wouldn't be the fucktard that you're being right now.
Real women don't wake up and skip work to march for abortions or paid contraceptives, while women in less fortunate parts of the world wake up without basic human rights.
Oh wow, so you do care about women's rights across the world. Because it sure as hell didn't seem like that when you were super in favor of the Muslim ban, or when you likened BLM to the KKK.
Okay, first of all, it's not a Muslim ban. And I'm kind of getting the feeling with the first name like Hasan, you might be taking it personally. Because, oh my gosh, this conflation of it being a Muslim ban because 7 countries that are predominantly Muslim were put on the ban list. Although, never mind that there were many, many other Muslim countries that are still allowed to come in and out freely for the most part. And as far as likening BLM to KKK, well, considering that there are a lot of people within the BLM that happen to be black supremacists / racists, it's not hard to come to that conclusion.
Muslim women are also women, right? Black women are also women.
Well, thanks for that condescending scoop, Brown Fabio.
You must understand that Trump's global gag rule will have catastrophic consequences for women's health worldwide. Or do you not really care about that because it conflicts with your snackable conservative narrative?
Okay, so admittedly, I didn't really understand the global gag order in the context of which it's being presented. I actually had to look it up and find out that it was what I had heard recently about the Trump administration reinstating a Reagan-era rule that prohibits our foreign aid going to countries that discuss and perform abortion. And that's to I think it said to non-governmental agencies. And I could go on and talk about what the gag order is in more detail than what I just did, but that's kind of getting away from this reaction video. What it comes down to in my thoughts is that, Hasan here is probably okay, given how his reaction to it was, with our federal tax dollars going to foreign countries who perform, and their agencies who perform abortions. Yet probably has a real beef with taxpayer dollars going into nation building, going into setting up democracies in countries that have theocracies, like Iraq and whatnot, and actually helping women achieve more rights in those countries. Yeah, that's a problem for him. I'm willing to bet anyway.
Also, you do understand that this is an international movement, as in women and men all around the world fighting together for women's rights. So stop trying to trivialize it and stop trying to misrepresent it. But tell me more. Tell me more about what real women are like, Tommy.
Man, what a condescending prick. Gosh, it's actually hard to watch and listen to. You know, and the thing of it is I'm sure he believes that Tomei Lahren is being a condescending prick as well. So what do? You respond in kind? Gosh. See, this is why the Young Turks don't win me over. You know, there was a time many years ago where I could disagree with them just fine without really thinking that they were being condescending pricks, but those days are gone. And Hasan Piker is just here to continue on with the new method of rhetoric, quote unquote rhetoric, with the Young Turks. I mean, Jesus, this is so terrible. And as far as this global movement on women for women's reproductive rights, what reproductive rights do women not have already? Could you enumerate on those? Could you give us some clarification? You know, let's just say I'm a conservative fuckwit. You know, yet can understand when people explain things to them. Maybe you can explain to me what reproductive rights women do not have in the West. I'd love to know. I mean, in all sincerity, I'd love to know. Don't do this quick clips of highlighting headlines. I mean, actually explain it. Yeah, probably not going to get that. I'm still expecting a block. And when it comes to reproductive rights and abortion, I mean, can men get equal rights in this kind of cause? You know, and I'm not saying that men should have say over whether or not women carry a fetus to term. I'm just saying men should have just as equal right to opt out of parentage as women do, but they don't. Yeah. Tell me more about how women have less rights than men do.
You real woman, you?
Real women understand that true equality doesn't mean special treatment.
I totally agree with that sentiment. That's literally what feminism is. Are you an in the closet feminist, perchance?
That's literally what feminism is? Okay, are we speaking literally to the definition, or are we speaking literally? I mean, okay, actually, that is what literally the definition of it is. But, you know, the definition is used whenever it's convenient to explain what feminism is, yet for many people, there's this kind of academic sense of what feminism is. And I'm not going to say never, it's rarely about not being special treatment for women or actual equality. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole thing between feminism and egalitarianism, but that's not literally what it is for everybody, Fabio. It really isn't. And you can say that in your little cutesy video here, but I doubt if you're really pushed on the issue that you'll agree that it's only about equality. And as far as special treatment goes, do I need to go back to menstrual leave? For shit's sakes.
But it seems like you haven't really read up on the subject, because no one was striking to ask for special treatment for women. They were asking for equality. They were striking for equality.
Well, actually, Hasan, between the two of you, I think it's you that's not really reading up, because apparently you haven't caught anything I've mentioned. You didn't know anything about menstrual leave. You actually said that literally nobody believes in that special treatment, nor do you seem to understand that not everybody, and this includes feminists, particularly feminists, hold the same idea of what feminism is as you've stated in this video. If you have, you've shown that you are quite disingenuous in making this video to explain what feminism is to other people.
By the way, Making this march seem frivolous and selfish by stating that it's asking for special treatment is in the same realm as the indecent, intentionally misleading rhetoric that claims all Planned Parenthood does is murder babies and is demanding for more federal funding to do so.
I like how you didn't deny that they use any of that federal funding for abortions. Granted, abortion or abortion counseling constitutes about 3% of Planned Parenthood services. It happens to be what makes them the most money. Seriously, dude. I swear, you want to talk about somebody who is unread.
Let me give you some facts, like not alternative ones, but like real actual fact.
Please, TYT is known notoriously for producing alternative facts. But yeah, this should be interesting.
Only 3% of what Planned Parenthood does is abortions. 97% is non-abortion related things like STD testing and treatment or contraception. That fact doesn't even matter from a federal funding perspective because they aren't allowed to use a dime, a nickel of federal funding on abortions.
Yeah, but nobody's ever heard dodgy accounting, right? And I'm sure Planned Parenthood is above all that. Now, granted, that's just a conspiracy / accusation on my part, but being one who has actually worked for a government contractor and understanding how certain organizations often have the smarts to defraud or do dodgy accounting, it's not beyond reason to think that Planned Parenthood could also do this. So don't fool yourself into thinking that they're above it because, well, they're not.
But go on, show the Madonna clip talking about blowing up the White House. That wasn't cool. I totally agree with you on that. It was a shitty joke. You know, the kind of joke that a freedom of speech advocate such as yourself would normally be on board with, as long as the person telling the joke is saying something you agree with.
Well, by all means, show us where Milo has ever said anything along the lines of blowing up the White House. Gosh. Wow, dude, you actually made that comparison. I can't believe it. No, I can't believe it.
Like that cut-up Milo Yiannopoulos and his hilarious pedophilia material.
Well, when you can't make a blowing up the White House comparison, talk about pedophilia. But going back to what you just said about, free speech and people who agree with you, I guess you're only willing to look at pedophilia and in a forgiving light if it's somebody who agrees with you. Tell me I'm wrong.
But let's pepper in some false equivalency to even this rant out.
That's right, folks. The arbiter of false equivalency is going to talk about somebody else giving false equivalencies. Oh man, the lack of self-awareness. Oh jeez. Hasan, please think about what you say.
If that's the feminist definition of inspiration and empowerment, count me out.
Yes, those two clips that you purposefully pulled out are the definitions of feminism.
So I'll say it again, even though you seem to be missing the point as you say it. Not everybody goes by the dictionary definition of what feminism is. That's up to and including the women that Tommy had clips on. Jeez, man.
Maybe you should take 5 seconds out of your daily regimen of selecting the next topic to direct outrage at and just log on to the International Women's Strike webpage to at least see what it's about.
Physician, heal thyself.
Because here are the things that they do stand for: ending gender violence, reproductive justice for all, labor rights, and anti-racist and anti-imperialist feminism.
Anti-imperialist feminism? Okay, so this last one, anti-imperialist feminism, it seems to have to do some with, militaries, especially that of the United States, going into foreign countries and, raping the inhabitants. I guess it's impossible for those who don't consider themselves to be feminists to be against those kind of things, right?
Are you saying that you're against those values, Tommy?
Nice straw man, Hasan. Did she directly say that? Because if she's not directly saying that, you're being an asshole.
So you're saying that you support gender violence?
Okay, the funny on that is run out. Would you please stop assuming her conclusion?
That's a little weird. You almost sound like Ben Carson talking about slavery.
You know, I just can't do this anymore. Laughing at him is causing me to cough, because I've laughed a lot more than what you've heard. And then the fallacies are just becoming overwhelming at this point. In 26 minutes in, you know, I just can't do it, you know. I actually really need to get to bed. I mean, hell, I still have to edit this damn thing. I need some rest. But yeah, this guy is full of shit. You know, his indignation is quite misplaced. And he's a know-nothing on top of that. You know, cherry-picking facts without really approaching them with any degree of skepticism just makes you look quite foolish, Hasan. But, you know, again, you're a graduate of the Cenk Uygur School of Debate and Rhetoric. Whatever, dude. Thanks for stopping in, folks. Y'all have a good one.